Hello and welcome to another episode of Quest Me, the Star Wars podcast that takes you on a quest through legends and new canon. My name is Josh, and I'm your forever host and slayer of Praetorian Guards. Joining me tonight, as always, is my lovely co-host. His name is Justin. How are you today, sir? Did we lose him already? No way. Reset. Joining me tonight is my lovely co-host. His name is Philea Organa Solo. Oh my God. Look at you.
Good evening, everybody. No, the camera will not be panning lower.
Oh man, this is wonderful. For those of you that are maybe new to the podcast and not realizing what's going on, we all made a bet last week about people dying in The Mandalorian, and Phil lost.
No. I won.
Oh. And Phil
I said
won.
no one was going to die.
That's true.
None of the named people you had selected.
That's true. So I guess in a way we all won, right?
Yes. Except for our visitors except for our listeners who are only catching the recorded version of this.
Yeah, make sure to go to YouTube and check out the live version, the recorded live version, because it's a sight to see. It's wonderful. Thank you for participating in the bet.
I do what I can.
Yeah, now I got to think of a new costume, though, for our next bet, because I can't do Leia. I'll have to think. Maybe I'll do the costume that the singer had in Jabba's palace.
Oh,
Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for being here, Phil.
You're welcome, Josh.
great
It's good to be here.
Yeah,
How was your week?
It was good, man. Nothing too crazy. I mean, work was crazy. It's like Tim is here. Is that slave girl Leia? Yes, it's Philea Organa Solo.
Got to get the full name in. Thank you very much.
Yes. It's good to have you here, though. I don't know if Justin's back yet. Is Justin back? No, Justin's still gone.
Oh,
So we're gonna. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure he'll be back, but we're gonna bring in our special guest for the second week in a row. It's great to have him back.
He's running.
Yeah, his name is Hugh.
Do
How
we
You.
correct that soldier boy?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Hey, can I request a Twilight costume in the future? I'm a big fan of Twilight.
I actually do have a friend who makes my friend Ashley over at Jedi Ash Designs does do custom Twi'lek head tails. So
Nice.
if you need somebody, she will hook you up.
That's awesome.
I might have to get a link for that one for sure.
Yeah, no, we'll do. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'll send you one.
But good to have you here, Hugh. Thanks for
Thank you.
stopping on by again. How was your week?
It's pretty good, man. It's great to be on the show. You guys, we've always had a good time here, but I don't know if you'll be inviting me back after this one. The last two times, I've enjoyed the episode. Tonight I might be a little bit more critical, so we'll see how you like me after this one.
You'll probably agree with all the people on Twitter too, because I had a lot of people on Twitter rating the episode, and it was not as positive as I expected it to be. So
It's kind of mid. We'll find out though.
oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad Jesse's here. Philea confirmed. I can't watch because I'm a few episodes behind, but I just had to see the Quest Me Bet payoff. Yes, it is here, and I'm glad that you said Philea because that is in my notes. So even if he wasn't wearing the costume, I would still be calling it Philea. So Philea sounds like a type of food or something.
Yeah, like a
Filet.
fish fillet.
I'll take the Philea of fish. I love it.
Filet of mignon.
I do still have some of that fish gin.
Yikes.
Oh man, Hugh, you missed that bar far away.
Yeah.
It was not the best, but excellent. Well, yeah, thanks again for joining us at such a late notice, Hugh.
No problem.
We were originally supposed to have Cameron from Open Pike, but he's very busy with all sorts of Star Trek stuff. I don't know if you guys have noticed that lately, but there's a lot of Star Trek going on.
Right.
So,
Little Picard action going on.
yeah.
Card, Lower Decks, more stuff with Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, man. Lots of stuff going on over there. So make sure to check out Open Pike Night because they do a lot of cool stuff. They have a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to listen to them. So Cameron will be here at some point again, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Ricky.
What Cameron the Coward of Green Shirt? Yes, that would be the one.
What's up, Ricky?
The one and only.
Yeah. Well, since this is the season finale of The Mandalorian, we're actually not going to be back next week. We're going to be back the week after that, and then we'll do a show subsequently every other week after that until Ahsoka is released. And then, of course, we'll go back to the weekly live streams where we talk about the shows.
And we'll give everyone a chance to catch up on Clone Wars and Rebels in between now and Ahsoka.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we still have the last book to read for the Thrawn trilogy.
Absolutely.
this guy
The
right
Last
here.
Command is
The Last
coming.
Command. Yep. So that will be a fun watch and a fun read for sure. But like I said, in 2 weeks from today, we'll be back again. Hopefully live. We'll see, though. We might just be doing recorded podcasts. I don't know. They may change. All the times and dates may change. So, Philea, why don't you tell everyone where they can find Quest Me to stay updated on when we drop new episodes and all that?
Well, in between now and then, and even before and after, you can find us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Just search for the Quest Me podcast or check the show notes and find those links.
Yeah. Tim says Rebels is a must-watch leading into Ahsoka. Absolutely correct. If you haven't watched Rebels or Clone Wars, you should definitely do that. And you don't have to watch all of Clone Wars either. There's an
Ahsoka bundle, basically.
Well, and there's an Ahsoka bundle, but there's also like the Essential Episodes bundle.
Right.
It's like 25 essential Clone Wars episodes, which basically gives you the entire story of 7 seasons, which is great. But I highly recommend watching Rebels. That's something we might do over the summer, is a little bit of a Rebels watch through and review for Quest Me. I feel like we talk about that show enough. We should probably do a deep dive.
Do it.
Do it now.
I see
Well,
Palpatine. I see Schwarzenegger. It's great.
I want to see them fighting each other.
Do it. Do it now.
Oh,
God.
get to the X-Wing!
I love it. Yeah. So speaking of getting to the X-Wing, actually, that was a terrible segue into this. We're going to go into our first segment of the week, which is... It's a bar far away where we talk about what we are drinking tonight. I am drinking Screwers Light. Ha! Screwball and Coors Light.
Ooh.
But Phil, what are you drinking tonight?
Nothing with peanut butter whiskey. Thank you. I'll make my own. Tonight is a drink that I'm still kind of workshopping. I had a busy weekend. I was off home for a wedding and stuff, so still one that I'm in the middle of workshopping, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. Calling it tentatively a bounty hunter. This is Jägermeister, cognac, sweet vermouth, and lemon juice.
Ew. Oh, is it good? Oh man, it looks.
It's
looks not
sour
good.
licorice. I mean, it's
Oh.
the Jaeger actually blends really well with the cognac and the sweet vermouth. Might need to tweak the lemon juice ratio a little bit, but
See, and here's the thing:
Britain
I can't drink Jaeger and I can't drink cognac. That's just not. So those mixed together just sounds. Ugh.
tragedy.
But, hey man, I bet it's wonderful for those people that are drink connoisseurs and actually like take time to make drinks and make good drinks. Me on the other hand, like I said, a Screwer's Light is good enough for me.
Well, I'll leave you to that. And I'll remind you all, drink responsibly and don't drink and drive.
Yes.
awesome.
Tim from the FSF Popcast says, I always fuck that up. FSF Popcast says he just started season 4 of Rebels this afternoon.
Nice.
I don't know if you've watched it before, but you are in for a treat, my friend. That season, oh man. I watched Rebels, I think,
A lot.
4 or 5 times now, all the way through. And like that last season leading up, oh man, it's so good. It's so good. He also says he feels like Phil hates his stomach. It's possible. But
Me too.
look, before we go any further, I have to introduce the other co-host for the show. Looks like he's back. His name is
Yay.
Justin.
Oh Lord, man, I'm sorry, guys. I feel so
Okay.
bad
Why?
because computers are like my bane, and it failed. It was working just fine. It really was. It really was.
That's all good. You didn't miss that much.
Yeah, no, man.
I missed your drink.
Oh, I can go
Oh,
back.
You didn't
No.
miss much.
It didn't sound like anyone liked it. But I usually love the name.
No,
What-
this is, if it makes you feel any better, this is one I came up with like 6 months ago, and I've just been kind of playing around with it.
Tweaking the recipe still.
Yeah, a little bit.
Keep
Mm.
tweaking it. Apparently.
Well, you know,
My lips just curl with it. Ricky
I
says,
made
"Boo."
2.
Justin sucks. Damn.
I don't
Ricky
know
is
why that made
on
me
one
laugh
tonight.
hard.
It's Ricky. It's gonna do.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And also, Claire is here. Hello, Claire. Where's Justin? What did I miss? Justin is here finally, and you didn't miss much. Okay.
Yeah, no, Claire. He got in like just after you commented.
Yeah. Although, you did miss out on
Uh-oh.
Phil's nice new little outfit here. So we'll give Phil a little bit of solo time. Look at that. Look at that wonderful Leia outfit. Man, looking good. I just gotta admire it, you know?
Filet.
So, Phil
See,
Leia.
this is why I've been working out. This is why I've been lifting.
That's so funny.
Get my shoulders looking nice.
Well, poor Justin is gone again. Hopefully, I'm sending him a big old gift basket here this week. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But we're
A
gonna
work
just
gift basket.
yeah, kinda, yeah, a little bit. But we're gonna move on. We're just gonna keep on going here because here he is. Here we go. Yeah,
I'm back.
just in time. Just in
Perfect.
time.
Ooh.
Boom, boom.
Got it. So, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the synopsis here. God, I'm so tired, you guys. Like, I'm reading my notes and having a hard time saying the words. So, here we go. Chapter 24, The Return. In this 40-minute space epic, we learn why Gideon so desperately wanted Grogu to be his friend. We witness the new purge of Mandalore, and we finally see what Grogu is made of. Bo-Katan reminds us that Mandalorians are stronger together, and Din Djarin becomes a new man, DeLorean. Anyway, this episode is directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
Miwa.
Every time. It's written by John and Dave, of course. It stars Pedro Pascal, Katie Sackhoff, and it has Giancarlo Esposito and Emily Swallow, as well as Simon Cassianides. Man, I'm so bad
Cassianides.
at this. Thank you. And Mercedes Vernado, as well as Carl Weathers, Paul Sun-Hyung Lee, and Taika Waititi makes a little appearance in this one. Which
Everyone
is
within the
wonderful.
cast. Literally
Yeah, pretty much everyone
everyone
here. Pretty much everyone except for the guy that played the Ugnaught. Oh,
Nick Nolte.
Jesus, Ricky is seriously on one. This podcast gets 33% better every time Justin drops. Jesus. Ricky's
We
just
love you too,
changing his
Ricky.
rating on iTunes every 10 minutes. It's like, oh, it's a 5. Justin's not there. Oh, now it's a 3. Justin's gone. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this episode was really good, guys. I had a fun time with it. Apparently, Hugh has a different opinion, though. Let's dig into that a little bit.
let's
talk
just
about it.
This
Just
was
give us,
so
like-
tough for me, man. Like, cause I kind of went in thinking like all the cool stuff we had predicted would happen, and that's not necessarily the most fair way to review an episode. But like going through, I'm like, all right, Armor is gonna betray in 3, 2, no. Ooh, Bo-Katan might die. Din Djarin, no. Like, but also there are just some things I had a few problems with. The fact that we finally find out why, as you said, Moff Gideon wanted Grogu to be his friend so bad, to make force-powered clones of himself, force-sensitive clones of himself. And he barely offers it any protection. I couldn't get past that, even with the fleet gone. I'm like, you have 3 Praetorian guards. This is kind of like your crown jewel. You're just gonna leave it wide open. Okay, like,
Well,
I didn't
but
get that part. There are a couple more parts like that. I'm just like, I don't know.
I gotta say, on the topic of not guarding the clones, he did have all of those red gates with guards in front of it.
Whole
That's
bunch of
that-
laser doors
That
with big holes
yeah.
that people could just fall down.
That's true.
yes, I mean,
I'd have put the
I feel like-
Praetorians there at least. Like, you got to know Mando was coming through. I don't know.
well, the Praetorians were there to guard Gideon.
Right.
They were there for the clones. They were there for the main guy. You know what I mean? But I understand. I see where you're coming from. There were a couple things. The betrayal thing was weird for me because it led up the last 3 episodes. Really made it seem like one of these main characters was gonna be a spy or something. You know? I mean,
Right.
even a title of one of the episodes was Spies, and we only saw one spy.
Right.
That we
So-
that we know of.
That we know of, yeah. And it just kind of, the payoff for that wasn't very big, you know what I mean? Which is
Right.
fine, again, because this was, I feel like, an episode that they had to wrap so much stuff up because they're about to open up a huge can of worms. And, like, they're going to have to do a lot more as far as Mando and his Republic adventures. You know, instead of trying to take back Mandalore like they've been doing for however long now, trying to get to Mandalore, to get to the living waters, then to take it back, then like everything had to deal with Mandalore and Mandalorians. Now it's going to deal with the bigger picture, hence Ahsoka and Thrawn and all that stuff.
So
But I feel like they probably wrapped everything up pretty quick. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it was a very fast. Like, oh, well, here's a loose
I-
end. Let's
I
just
think-
tie that one up real quick.
I think we got spoiled by the length of the season for Andor.
Oh, that, yeah.
Just at seeing as much content over the course of a single season as we did with Andor. Then when we get back down to like an 8-episode season, we're like, wait, what is that it? Is that all we got? That's
And
an
speaking of
8-episode
being-
season, an 8-episode season that only spans over like a month.
yeah.
Andor was over the course of a couple years, I think.
As far as the timeline of the series,
Yeah. Like I think
Yeah.
they skipped ahead a couple times pretty far, like because he was in prison for like 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, there's some time skippage in there.
So
And speaking of being spoiled, I mean, look back to the final episode of the last season of Mandalorian,
Yeah.
which is
Oh yeah.
2 years ago. Even though we've had like a season and a half of Mando that seems like a lifetime away, that thing just blew everyone's mind. With Luke coming back, it was a impossible,
The
thing to
technological,
swallow. Right.
the technological feats involved in it, the everything.
This one just
You
felt a
can't-
little bit short of that. I don't know.
I mean,
I
that's
can
a
see that.
pretty high.
Yeah. You had Luke
So-
Skywalker. You're not going to get that more than one.
So I
Yeah, man.
found a really solid theory though on the previous episode title.
Okay.
So it's talking about a biblical reference actually, where let me just Israelite chieftains from the 12 tribes were sent in to scout the promised land by Moses, and they were referred to as spies, not in terms of espionage or betrayal, but in terms of just gathering information. And so all of the Mandalorians who are actually going down to explore Mandalore could technically be considered to be spies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That
So-
that makes a lot of sense. They do like to use old religious references a lot.
Well, yeah,
in
I mean, we
these
had the
shows, so-
apostate earlier. We have,
Yeah.
so
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing to bring up. I
That
like
deep
that.
dive.
yeah, no, I thought that was
Yeah.
actually better than I would have ever considered because
That makes more sense. It makes more sense than us thinking that the armor is a spy, X is a spy.
but I mean,
Grogu is
it
a spy.
planted some seeds where you were expecting chaos. So
You're
Yeah.
not wrong. You're not wrong. Ricky brings up there were those episodes of Boba Fett that were basically Mando episodes that mess with the
Yes.
perception of Mando time.
Yes.
and
Get that,
then
Ricky. Yep.
So we're looking at something like 2 years time skip
Yeah.
in between the events
'Cause-
of season 2 and season 3.
that's what Filoni said. He said
Yeah.
it was 2 years between 2 and 3 with Grogu training with Luke for 2
Yeah.
years, which makes a lot of sense in this episode. Like you
When you start
really
seeing
see-
him.
dude. I mean, we're just gonna skip around this whole episode. I feel like
Yeah.
because there's
Just like
so much to
Grogu.
talk about. But yeah, but in that scene where he's against the Praetorian guards and he's just skipping around and giggling the whole time,
Babbling
and,
at these.
dude, I mean, one of the coolest scenes, and you're like, okay, now it makes sense that he was with Luke for 2 years, because before he would use the Force like that and get
And he'd
tired
fall
and
asleep.
pass out.
He'd be so worn out. He couldn't do. I mean, the fight with the Mudhorn in season
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
just wiped him.
And
So
I think even in the finale of season 2 of Mandalorian, he was pretty wiped out.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
After his thing with Gideon. So
mhm.
So yeah, seeing him run around and then throwing the weapons around and stopping the guard from hitting Mando with its electric blade, okay, I understand now. It makes sense that he was there for 2 years, but it is very strange to jump around like that. I'm very curious to see how far they jump ahead for next season. How far ahead is Ahsoka gonna be? Is Mando and Grogu going to make an appearance in Ahsoka and kind of show how far or how much time has advanced?
That would be that would be smart because that would let them jump to whatever plot point they need to be able to do for season 4 of Mando.
Right.
Right.
Not that they need Grogu to get people to watch that series, because
No,
they have
but-
Chopper and Hera and all the Rebels cast. I don't need another excuse to watch Ahsoka. But if
Thrawn.
Grogu and Mando show up, yeah, dude. I mean, they're all there. It's going to be great. I mean, we already got confirmation that there's going to be a movie. Basically, there's going to be a Mandoverse movie to complete the story
Kind of wrap everything up.
of Thrawn, yeah. So that's another reason why I think this episode tied up so many loose ends, because they're like, we really got to prep for the new story. Like, Mando was successful. It got us to where we want to be. It got Filoni to be able to tell the story that he wants to tell via Thrawn and Rebels and those characters. And so now they have to kind of move that along. And I'm okay with some of it, but I think like there were a couple things that I was like, really?
Yeah, the R5 part, I'm like, I know it's like a common thread where we've seen R2D2 like stick the little USB. That's what I imagine.
Super hacker.
Yeah, super hacker. We see it all the time, but it's right outside the base, and like all they got is these little mouse droids to. Like, I'm thinking of like the beginning of what is it, Revenge of the Sith? R2 at least has to like burn some motherfuckers, like, sorry.
No,
I
you're
mean,
good.
yes, it's somewhere that he has to basically like jetpack in to get there. He has to use the little rocket boosters to get down there.
Mhm.
But literally every Mandalorian on the planet has a jetpack.
Right.
Well, I mean, at
It's
that
not like
point,
it's inaccessible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
and at that point, I mean, R5 is going in while all the Mandalorians and super commandos or whatever are flying out.
This is fair.
Right.
There's a whole lot of other shit going on and distracting
correct.
everyone. So,
But the R5 thing was definitely like, where the fuck did he come from?
he was in the gauntlet when
Was
they were coming down. He was in the gauntlet.
Okay.
But
Don't
we
remember.
don't see him.
Dang, Justin.
Poor Justin, man.
He's struggling
Ricky's
over
like,
there.
33%.
Oh my god.
No,
Justin's
but
just gonna have to go. I'm gonna send him a message and tell him just to get on his phone and do it.
no, but it just the whole thing with R5. I was like, okay, we need the excuse to get the droid in and get the hack done. That's,
Yeah.
I do like though that he was simultaneously like holding the other further gates shut when the commandos were
cool.
trying to open them and preventing
was
them from
cool.
being able to get back out.
That was cool. I really liked. I like. It was kind of jarring because you're like, oh, this should be R2D2, but
Right.
at the same time,
a pretty rapid turnaround in Din's attitude toward him too.
Yeah, well,
Like
R5
suddenly
was
calling
kind of,
him buddy and
Yeah, R5 was kind of a dick at the beginning of this episode or this season. He was like, I don't want to go with this guy. What?
I thought he was more of a coward than like I got. More
that
coward
was
vibe
more
than
the vibe
dick
I
vibe.
got
Okay,
too.
all right,
He
all right.
like he didn't want to go. Pelly was like, "Hey, here's a droid."
He's like,
Yeah,
I
that's
did like the
true.
little shake he did. Like,
That's true. That's true. All right,
Don't want
I
to go exploring
retract
on
my
an
statement.
abandoned
oh, that's
planet.
fine. That's fine.
No, I did like seeing him do some of the R2D2 things though, and like using the jetpacks and like
Yeah.
fighting off the mouse droids and like
Fighting.
yeah, good stuff. But also again, like, we could have probably done something else there.
Yeah.
I did like that they really emphasized weapons in this episode.
Yeah.
And it like, I mean, right when R5 opens that first gate and Mando runs in, he loses his vibroblade in one of those guards. Like, he sticks him in the neck and then the guy falls backwards. Mando tries to grab it and like loses his weapons and all of a sudden can't really, protect himself or whatever. So
It's
They did
such
that
a
thing.
video game progress moment.
yeah.
Like, let's beat this guy, take his gear, go fight the next guy, take his
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah. But they did. I mean, the Darksaber got crushed in this episode. It got destroyed. Like,
Right.
what? This
What?
whole time we've been thinking the Darksaber has like some high meaning, and nope, it doesn't.
Which may
What did you-
set up what Din was saying in the last episode, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the Darksaber is. I don't care. That's not
Didn't
what I
mean
follow you.
shit to me.
But yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely. I guess that makes sense that they're wrapping that up to be like, oh yeah, no, it really doesn't matter because at the end of this episode we get, them lighting the
Great Forge.
the forge and everyone just. I love that scene.
That was solid.
Mhm.
Like, everyone's screaming so cool, and like you realize that they really don't care about the Darksaber. They just care about the courage and how much of a badass Bo was, you know?
Although, what also it gives us the potential for? We have a new force-sensitive Mandalorian.
You talking about Grogu?
Yeah. Let
Hey,
him go. Let him go forge a new Darksaber at some point and be like,
And he might, but I've been saying this the whole time, dude. Grogu's gonna be the leader of Mandalore at some point.
I
He
absolutely
will
believe that.
do it.
They did connect him in the Mythosaur.
They did.
you said last week. Yeah.
Last shot.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to wait till
Cool.
Justin got back, but he's not back. So
Sorry.
yeah, no, but that is a huge deal because originally you think the Mythosaur wakes up because Bo-Katan is down there and Mando is falling down there, but really and truly,
You woke up
he
because
was
of
coming to
Grogu?
Grogu was there.
Grogu was
Oh.
there, and Grogu was in distress, and that's why the
Mhm.
Mythosaur was coming up to see what the hell was going on because there was like some
Sort of
presence that was-
disturbance.
In the Force.
Yeah, exactly. So then now we see that scene where Grogu becomes Din Grogu, and they flash down, and as soon as Grogu like looks into the water, the Mythosaur wakes up, and it's like, oh, there's a connection there. There's an absolute connection there. So I think that, yeah, I think we're onto something that maybe he will forge a new Darksaber, or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just have his own lightsaber.
Yeah, no. It's more likely. I'm just saying that he has the potential to take some nods,
Yeah.
with his lightsaber construction.
Although I could see him making a new Darksaber just out of respect for
Mhm.
Mandalore, to be like, this is
way.
for Mandalore, and like he makes the Darksaber again, a nice sleeker design or something. So, hey Justin, you're back.
I had to make
Yay!
sure something.
Hey, man.
You're good. You're good. I'm just gonna adjust your volume really quick.
Yep.
And
We
you
can
should be
see
good.
and hear you. That's a good
Yep.
start.
All right.
There you go.
That's a good
Perfect.
start,
That's
man.
great.
So where are we at? Where are we at?
We are
jumping
bouncing
all over, really.
the place, man. But we just talked about Grogu and the Mythosaur and how there's a connection there. Do you think there's a connection between Grogu and the Mythosaur?
Come on, we know there's a connection. First off, the whole fact that Grogu, or should I say Din Grogu, has an ability to soothe calm beasts. Like the whole Rancor aspect, the Mudhorn. Actually, the Mudhorn he more force picked up and then dropped, but
He
still.
just stopped him.
But it counts. It counts. But he has this affinity towards animals, and still, the Mythosaur is a creature. It's possible. Highly
We were just-
likely.
Basically, we were saying like when Din fell down the hole and the Mythosaur woke up, everyone thought that it woke up because of Bo. And
Woke
I
up
think,
for Grogu.
I think
and
now
it's-
after this episode, we realize that it woke up for Grogu. That it was
Yeah,
there
it must have
because-
like some kind of force sensitivity.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next point. Is that they probably share some sort of thing with the Force. It's like the Purgles.
The Purgles.
They probably
Yes.
have some sort of connection. But all animals, I mean, according to Rebels, all animals are one with the Force, just like all people are one with the Force. So if you have a connection with the Force, you can probably have a connection with animals if you know how to manipulate it the right way. So anyway, let's see, what else did we talk about? Talk about clones, Justin.
Talked about the
clones a
Darksaber
little
getting
bit.
destroyed.
Yeah, Darksaber.
Oh,
What
okay.
did-
What about how vain it is for Moff to make clones of himself?
Was that vain or was that Emperor
That's
Palpatine-esque?
total. No, that's total vanity. And I think like he after the Empire fell and they became remnants, he took the program over and then made it all about made it about himself. So he was very selfish about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you think he did that to begin with. Like, you found out in this episode, you missed the synopsis, you poor thing. But basically, we found out why Gideon wanted Grogu so bad was to make force clones of himself, which is a complete foreshadow to episode 9. That's like a huge,
Oh, absolutely. But
you know.
how far did we overread into the whole clone aspect of this show?
Did we?
Nah, it's got to be more than.
I mean,
Why do you say that? Go on.
I still think that they are going to continue to come into play. I mean, we saw one batch of clones destroyed,
Mhm.
but I mean, we never saw any of those other flying Imperials' faces.
I guess that's true. But did
I'm
they
just
all
saying
die?
that could have been a whole Agent Smith style Moff
And- oh
Gideon
my
army
God,
there.
he's so stupid.
Coulda, shoulda.
Worst scene in the Matrix movies ever. Oh my God. They ripped that scene
Agent Smith is
straight.
everyone.
Dude, they ripped that scene straight from that game that they made. I swear to God.
You didn't like the Matrix game?
I mean, they didn't make a giant Agent Smith face out of Agent Smiths in the movies, at least.
Thank God. No, that game was cool. I was just saying the movie, the second movie where Neo fights all those Agent Smiths, and it looks exactly like a video game. It's like a PS2 video game. There, like, go watch the movie again, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's bad.
I'll take a
Even for
look
the
at it.
time, it was bad. But that's an interesting point. I wonder if there were a bunch of other Gideons running around, because I mean, we don't necessarily know that he's completely dead. I mean, he burned up, right?
True.
Yeah.
So
One would imagine.
Can we talk for a minute about his powered armor?
oh yeah, that was the other
How
thing I was gonna
right
say.
were
Did
you?
Dude, I told you crush gaunts.
Crush guns.
Yeah, man. That's some Legends shit. The actuators built into the gloves that let him just smash the
Yep.
shit out of whatever he grabs.
You're
Like
not
the
wrong.
dark
Who had
saber.
those? Who had
A
those in Legends?
bunch of characters. At one point, Boba Fett gave a pair of them to Han Solo as a gift, so that he could go kill his son.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, like he sent Boba Fett sent a pair of them to Han after Jason killed Boba Fett's kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Holy cow. Man,
Yeah.
Legends is so cool.
You guys are
Maybe we
getting
should-
all in depth with another universe.
Man, this is like 40 years in the future past the Thrawn books. So
Yeah, dude. It's pretty.
Yo,
That's some-
while we're jumping around, Josh, I wanted to ask you a question. What are you going to do with all the IG-12s you bought?
They haven't released yet, man.
Are you still going to buy 12 of them or what? You said you're going to buy a lot, but still, even after it was destroyed? Like, how'd you feel about
Absolutely.
that?
I mean, it had to
blew up
happen.
Grogu's ride.
Like we were talking about, all the weapons got destroyed in this episode, basically. So they had to get rid of Grogu's weapon too to show his skills without his weapon, because that was kind of the point, I feel like, of that. It's like showing that Bo-Katan can kick some ass, and
lead.
Mandalorians in general can kick
Right.
ass when they're together. And it was like, it kind of showed that the whole time. Like when Din went to go save Grogu, they were more powerful together, and then when Grogu and Din went to go help Bo-Katan, all three of them were more powerful together. Even though none of them had any weapons, they were all still that much more powerful. So I don't like that they got rid of his vehicle.
I thought of you exactly when that happened. I'm like, ooh.
It was a little like, I guess I didn't even really notice that much because so much other shit happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Until like my second or third watch, I was like, oh wow, that got destroyed. And also they turn it into IG-11 again.
They
so,
they
Right.
do.
dang, that sucks. But at the same time, what it led up to
The
is
Marshal.
priceless. And not even just the Marshal, but Grogu using his powers,
Yeah.
being like, I don't need this machine to run away from you. Dude, the giggle.
If
that he
anything, it
does-
slowed
oh,
him down in that fight.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
I just thought
So-
it was strange how the Praetorian's blades went through IG like it was just a knife through hot butter.
I mean, he's not made of Beskar.
Yeah. He's regular metal.
He's Durasteel.
Durasteel. Thank you. God.
Yeah, but it's
This is why
still
you're
like
here, Phil
he
Leia.
takes blasters like a champ. Why not
Yeah, but blasters are different than like a hot knife.
a hot knife?
You know? And
All right.
again, they had to get rid of that thing. They had to, just to show what Grogu.
It's
can do.
a continuity reset button too. I mean, it lets them
Yeah.
basically. I mean, the whole episode lets them set back up to either wrap up the storyline for now and launch into the movie, or to go on to a whole new series of bounty hunting adventures.
Yeah.
So
That definitely
Yeah.
felt like a series finale at the end, like the way that.
yeah,
It
Then with
did
the lake,
kinda-
I had to Google it. I'm like, Mando season 4? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's happening. But
yeah, it's still happening.
It was a perfect ending if it was for the series.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was very satisfied. I was crying multiple times.
Aww.
You know what could happen because Cara Dune messed up everything with Rangers of the New Republic. They could have set something up to be like Mandalorian and the Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah.
where he's working
They
with
can,
them.
play around with some of those storyline concepts still,
Yeah,
and just have Mando and Grogu be, a part of it.
which I
think that's
sign me up.
I think that's part of why we got to see so much of Carson Teva.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree.
Just
And-
there's definitely some other characters who might have filled in other places in this season if,
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I mean, bringing Zeb in, as long as Zeb doesn't die in the Mandoverse
Yeah.
story.
oh
I
hell
mean,
yeah.
he could be part of the Rangers. I mean, dude, the possibilities are endless, and Mando going and signing up to work for them is I
Off
thought
the
that was
books.
brilliant. I thought that was brilliant. Yeah, off the books. It's great. Ricky brings up a really good question. Who's your favorite droid?
Ooh.
I'll tell you right now. Mine is B2 Emo.
Haha. Oh.
Either
Damn, now I
him
miss
or-
Andor, man.
Either him or K2SO, both from Andor, but like
Mhm.
those two droids are top favorite.
Yeah.
Chopper.
L337, like from
Oh.
Solo.
Oh,
Yeah,
from
okay.
Solo?
Okay.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
was a badass.
Yeah.
So
Also, you
definitely
mean the Millennium Falcon?
True.
Ricky absolutely General Grievous counts.
Yeah.
Oh, Grievous? Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
he's still or I guess a human or
He's not a
humanoid.
human. He was an alien.
Well, he's still an alien at his soul.
All right. So if we're talking ones that we've
He's a
seen
droid.
on screen,
He leads
For
the droid
LOM.
army. For LOM.
yeah,
Which one is that?
one of the other bounty hunters that we see in
He's the
Empire Strikes
bug-looking
Back.
one.
He is. He
Okay. And he had some
hangs
cool
out with
stories and
Zuckuss.
legends.
Yeah, he hangs out with
some-
Zuckuss. So 4LOM is probably my favorite one we've seen on screen.
Huh, okay.
Favorite one off screen is still, I know I've mentioned him already this season, and Josh is going to boot me out of here for this, but Mr. Bones from Chuck Wendig's Aftermath trilogy.
Mr. Bones was cool though. I mean, he was a good droid.
Mr. Bones was the best droid.
I mean, this is
Chopper.
accepting. Go ahead.
Mr. Bones was a reprogrammed battle droid,
Yeah.
and he had been reprogrammed with like Twi'lek Dancer and combat modules, and so he was like
It was like entertainment and
assassination. Yeah, no, he was great, and he was just reprogrammed by this teenage kid.
yeah. Yeah, it was God, I always forget about Mr. Bones. But kind of reminiscent of the battle droids from the Jack Black episode
Yeah,
where they reprogrammed them to do good things, What about you, Hugh? Did we ask you already?
Yeah, it was L337, but
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
right.
gotta throw in
Yeah.
the caveat, accepting R2, right? Like, it's R2. I feels like the goat. Like, I feel like
That's
that would
everyone's, yeah.
be
Oh yeah.
too easy of an answer. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. All right. We got everyone's, right? Justin, did we get yours?
Chopper.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good
Chopper's
one.
by far the most badass little robot. And to hear him just scream, what the fuck? We all know you're saying what the fuck, but what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice point, Ricky.
Which,
Yes.
Which
With Mr.
talking about-
Bones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Only
he's
he
the droid
like
version of River Tam is what Ricky said.
who sings while he's murdering people. It's great.
Dude, it's great. Yeah. That's probably one of the best parts of the Aftermath series was that droid. And then and the side stories.
And Ray Sloan and
Yeah. I don't know, man.
You guys really love the Aftermath series.
I
love the
was
books.
I was a fan of Chuck Wendig's writing before he did the Aftermath.
Mm.
I am a fan of his still. So
And for me, that was the quintessential book to read. Like I know a lot of
it
people were
was
super
the
upset.
it was the book for the beginning of the new canon.
Yeah, and a lot of people were upset about Legends being like thrown out the window, but I was excited to actually have a story start from the beginning with
Yeah.
Legends. Of course,
Is that
then
Ro over
Interesting.
there?
it is Ro. Yes. Hello,
What's up, Ro?
Thank you for stopping in. Good evening, nerds. Um,
evening nerds.
But yeah, it was cool to start at the beginning of those novels. Like I got that, and then I got the Leia book, Bloodlines,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
Claudia
and then-
Gray on that one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I had of course, I had to get the new Thrawn trilogy when those came out. Those were really good. Not the same as the original Thrawn trilogy, but still a fun read. But yeah, it's just I don't know. The Aftermath series for me was kind of like a new beginning for Star Wars, and so I do like to reference that. And they like to reference that book a lot in these other shows.
I mean, just the existence of Cobb Vanth. Just as a character, Cobb Vanth being there is
Yeah. Rose says Bloodline was great. I totally agree. I loved hearing like about how Snoke manipulated Kylo from the freaking womb. What?
yeah, no, like eerie.
Crazy.
I guess it wasn't Snoke doing it.
It was, though.
Sidious.
Well, I mean, okay, Sidious was
Via
controlling the
Snoke.
puppet. Yeah. And we still don't know the full story yet behind Snoke and Palpatine and everything that happened there. So
I don't think we're gonna need to know. It's like, all right, didn't Grogu and Yoda species? Who cares? He's a Mandalorian. Boom.
although it was cool to have them reference that his family could be far away if they even existed at all.
Just the idea that maybe his family
Somebody
is
knows.
still out there, his people, and not, when I say his people, not just the Jedi.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're talking about Yoda, or because there's no way that they're talking about the Jedi again.
No, not this time.
Like it's got to be his actual race,
Family.
whatever they are, the Parsegians. No, nobody get that one. Okay, never mind.
Nope.
I'm just gonna squint at you extra hard.
It went right over.
The Family Guy, Star Wars.
Yeah.
When
yeah.
Yoda dies, Luke Skywalker, he's like he steals his credit card. He's like going to buy something from Yoda's credit card, and he's like, "Yeah, the last name is Parsegian."
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that out for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to go grab my copy of something Dark Side?
No. Let's see. What else did we get? We got we got some really cool shots of just a jetpack battle. What?
Yo.
So many
That's-
jetpacks.
That's
No.
something we haven't seen in Star Wars, in live action Star Wars at least, is
There
just
you go.
hundreds of jetpack battlers.
Never had a
Um,
really good opportunity till now.
I mean, how many people did we have with jetpacks in one scene? There
Well,
were
let's go back
like
and
the
count.
4 flying troopers, however many of the little they
I
fly
think-
now? They fly now, guys, in episode 9.
I try to forget, but yes.
Yeah.
And there aren't very many people with jetpacks. I do love how Mando, as he's talking to Bo at the beginning of the episode, is just like, let me just loot these guys real quick. I'll take this jetpack here. I'll take this gun. I'll take all this other stuff.
I loved how he was just grabbing gadgets along the way.
Yes.
He grabbed that the electro stun baton, the riot shield,
riot
Yeah,
shield.
Riot Shield.
The riot shield bit
Stormtrooper
was great.
jetpack. Like he's useful.
I loved the scene where he grabs one of the troopers and pulls him around and uses the riot shield on the trooper's back to block the incoming blaster fire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Because
is
before he
a-
managed to grab one of the shields himself, he used one while it was on the guy's back still.
I love the hand-to-hand stuff he was doing too, like the little sweep kick, and then he steals his flamethrower, he torches the other guy. That was good. That was well done.
You get a
I-
Mando martial arts thing going.
I love this question from Ro. Did we ever find out why the pirates had him at the end of season 1 in Mando? I'm assuming he means Grogu. Is that because Grogu was captured? Was it bounty hunters?
It was
Remnants.
Karga's.
bounty hunters.
It was Karga's bounty hunters,
Okay, and
it was.
I mean,
just for revenge on Din, really.
oh,
When Din brings the whole like covert in to fight against Karga's bounty hunters
oh,
season 1
Okay.
finale.
okay. I need to go back and watch that. Apparently,
It's been a minute.
yeah, maybe that's what we should do. We started this show Quest Me on season 2 of Mandalorian, so we could go back and watch season 1 and do a
Right.
fun review there.
Yeah, Ro, you're making me want to rewatch this whole thing from the
I
beginning.
know,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna have to get back to you on this because I am not sure.
Season 1 was what, 2019? Like that's way back
God,
there.
fuck, man.
Yeah,
Pre-COVID?
I was about to say pre-COVID.
Oh, the
I was on the
world was a
plane.
different time.
Yeah.
I don't even remember those days.
See, I think
Pre-COVID, man. What a
Before
joke.
the
Scuttlebutt
dark
was talking
times.
about
before the Empire.
What are you saying, Justin?
I think Scuttlebutt was asking why was Din Grogu with the initial pirates when like he finally found the beacon was going off towards him.
What? That was in season 2. What?
No, that
what?
was season 1.
Oh, the beat. God, dude, we're gonna need to go back and watch this.
The
We can't.
He was hidden by some pirates, and that's why they had the beacon.
We
had-
have to go back.
I'm blanking.
Nothing.
no, they had the
Wow.
the bounty tag.
I
Yeah.
remember the bounty tag. I just don't. I like Ricky's explanation the most that they were butt pirates trying to take Grogu.
The
Ah.
Nikto, that's the race. The Nikto pirates.
Hmm. And yes, Justin did just say Din Grogu. He's got a fascination with the whole Din Grogu thing, apparently.
Who,
Are
me?
you a fan of that? Yeah, are you a fan of
I am
Din
a fan
Grogu?
of that.
Huh.
It's Din Grogu, man,
Okay.
or Baby Din Grogu, or Baby Din
The
Grogu
child.
Yoda.
Baby Din Grogu Yoda. That's gonna be my dog's name if I ever buy a tiny dog. So let's talk on that a little bit though, because I feel like the Din Grogu thing was weird. Did you
How
guys
so?
get that? Like because I feel like Din was always Din Djarin's first name, and Djarin was the last name. Why isn't it Grogu Djarin?
Oh.
Child of the moon of
Not every
Concordia?
culture uses the surname first. some cultures use the surname
So,
first. I mean,
It's
just
like Jaren, his first name now, and I guess Din is the house name kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
trying to
is
go
that
Game
what
of
it
Thrones
is?
on people. Your house name is
Th-
now Din. House of Din.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of weird. I mean, I
I
guess I'll
liked it,
accept it.
but I never really overthought it. I don't know.
you're caught up on it, Josh, because you're thinking of Boba Fett and Jango Fett, and
And Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker and all the people that have last names.
The Hutt family, Jabba, his
Hutt
sister,
is their
Queen.
species.
Yeah, Hutt is a
not-
species.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
That was
34
good.
years
That
of
was
my life have gone on thinking that.
good. His name was Jabba Hutt.
Yeah.
His last name is the Hutt. Right?
We definitely need to read more Legends books.
Oh, Lordy.
So, all right. Well, I guess if you guys aren't caught up on that as much as I am, we'll move on from Din Grogu.
Din
Um,
Grogu.
There are a few other things that we didn't necessarily talk about, but that we are bringing up in segments. So before we get on to segments, was there any other points that we wanted to bring up or any other parts of the episode that we wanted to talk about? Rose says Jabba had a huge family. But So, all right, I'm going to take that as a no for no other notes.
no, I don't think so.
And as I'm going through notes, yeah, I don't have anything either. So, except for on the topic of Grogu being a din in my notes, it's official. Grogu is a din. Weird.
Oh,
But
one thing.
aren't there laws and things to follow when it comes to adopting?
Apparently
you
not in
just,
Star Wars.
You just say it and it's there.
That's how it goes.
I don't know.
This is the way.
Mandalorian
This
court's
is the
culture? I don't
way.
know. Yeah, he's
This
in the
is
books
the
now,
way.
man.
This is the way is basically a contract. Once you say this is the way,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're in a binding contract. So
One thing.
go on,
It was in your notes from earlier, but I got to come back to it now.
please.
The jetpacks. Okay, so major plot point earlier in the season was that
I'm
the
gonna bring this up.
Mandalorians. Oh, you want to talk about it when we get to your thing?
Yeah. Like
Okay,
the
well,
inconsistency. Like,
yeah.
like, it's still freaking
Well-
cool as shit, but like, yeah, it's inconsistent. Yeah. But we can
All
talk
right,
about
well,
it now. Like, if you just
I-
do Boba
I-
Fett
we
now,
about-
Hang
We're
on a
about to
second.
bring
Hang
up
on a second.
fuel in Star Wars again, aren't we?
Okay,
Yeah.
now so Hugh,
all
I'll
about
just
fuel.
do this for you then. Just Axe, jetpacking
Yeah.
from the surface all the way up through atmosphere.
but couldn't catch a raptor. I don't know. It wasn't axe specifically, but we don't have enough fuel for a raptor.
Yeah.
But
But how far away was that thing flying?
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I feel
But
like
it can't be
have-
from on the surface level to space. Has got to be much longer than some raptor's nest.
Like
You have to
flight net,
think,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
No,
I
it's
mean-
about trying to keep up with the raptor. That thing would fly. haul ass.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Maybe that's it.
Speed could be a factor, but at the same time,
he was
Axe
flying
would also
pretty
have had to
fast.
reach escape velocity.
The jetpacks are badass. That's all.
I mean,
agree.
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Hand waving. It's a cool moment.
It's super cool.
Don't think. about
I
the
think it
jetpacks.
would have been. I think it would have been better for him to have managed to like actually catch up to the armorer's ship before
would've been
she made atmosphere.
I agree.
Well,
I mean,
also-
obviously,
That
it will,
scene when he's about like he escapes the atmosphere and he's looking at the ship. That was almost my Sarlacc killer. I'm like, that's a cool shot.
yeah,
that
yeah.
was great.
I gotta say though, like the Mandos in exile or whatever, the ones on the dinosaur planet,
Mm.
I
Mhm.
would feel like maybe they didn't have as much fuel as
This is
say,
possible.
the bounty
Correct.
hunters,
Correct.
or
This is quite possible that they were rationing their fuel too.
or like they
That's
didn't
what I thought.
have like good enough jetpacks, because I feel like Axe's crew had like
They've got their
state-of-the-art
tech more. I
stuff.
mean, yeah.
But it's the same. I don't know. Maybe they shared the fuel. I don't know, but it's the same people
It
at the
is.
end, right?
It's 50 years difference. Or no,
It's something-
30.
It's something they put in here to make nerds like us talk about.
Just
talk
like
about it,
froth
you
at the
know?
mouth and rage.
Yeah. To be like, oh, you know what's really gonna piss these fans off? Fuel.
Jetpack fuel.
Like, so I mean, I kind of look at it as I don't know. I guess I look at it like a child still. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's got a better jetpack than the
Well,
other guys.
and we know we've already like getting through atmosphere is not like that inconceivable with the armor. We know that Din's armor was able to seal for atmospheric conditions when he was on Mandalore. It's just nitpicking at this point. Ricky would like to mention Hanukkah.
What?
I don't know about this. The Jews and their lantern oil.
The Mandalorians have as much rocket fuel, have as much jetpack fuel as they need for the circumstances because it's a miracle.
Oh, is that one where they're waiting for the person and they just keep replenishing the oil, the lantern oil? Like they're waiting for the bridegroom or something? Is that what he's referencing? Hit me back, Ricky. I don't know. Now I'm interested in like biblical stuff.
Go
Thanks.
go read about Hanukkah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, while you do that, we're gonna go into segments.
Yes.
And the first segment we're gonna go into this week is
He's no good to me dead.
He will not be permanently damaged.
Bubba's Bounty is the part of the show where we talk about our favorite new thing added into live action Star Wars. Even if it's from a cartoon or a book, as long as it's new and in live action, it's our bounty. So we're going to start with Hugh, and it's kind of along the lines of jetpacks still. And let's talk about this.
Yeah. I saw that. It's just like, what a cool scene. Star Wars has the ability to just bring so many cool things to the forefront. We've all seen large battles take place in sci-fi, fantasy. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. You got all these like where Bo-Katan's forces and the reinforcements with the armor meet up. That was such a cool part of the episode. I love it as they're charging the stormtroopers who also have their own jetpacks and the mid-air battles watching, especially the armored duel with her stuff, with her tongs and her hammer. Just amazing. I had to hit that up for the Bowers Bounty because that's something I haven't seen before, and I thought it was really cool.
It
yeah.
hits such a nice middle ground between the land battles that we see in like episode 1
Right.
and the space battles that we see in so much of the other Star Wars material. Just that like atmospheric battle, but with infantry.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay.
And when you talk about just Disney's takeover of Star Wars, like I've always seen it from a live action standpoint as Star Wars is this big theme park, and the movies, like the trilogy, the original trilogy and the prequels were like, just the roller coasters. I love that all this extra content is just filling in the blanks of like just the world building, and this is a part of that. Like watching these type of battles that we haven't gotten to see before, I think is a really cool thing that they've brought to the forefront through all these shows and different movies and the like.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky's clarifying the Jews only had enough lantern oil for 3 days, but the lantern oil miraculously lasted for however long they needed however long they needed it to because God loves the Jews.
Thank you, Ricky.
We can chalk that up to the Mandalorians have just enough lantern fuel or jetpack fuel to do whatever they want because Filoni loves Mandalorians.
But yeah, no, that's
That's
why
about
Hanukkah.
right.
That's why Hanukkah is 8 nights. It's
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Cool. Well, we're learning on this show. So, Excellent pick though for Boba's Bounty, Hugh. I really, really, really enjoyed that scene, and just everything about it. Like you see those big long
Right.
shots, like just
The
so
big
good.
tracking shots with the whole groups of not like tracking shots, but like the wide shots of all the jetpacks going.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Let's move on to Phil's Boba's Bounty. Tell us why you picked this for your Boba's Bounty.
Because again, as I mentioned, crush gaunts. People were talking about like hearing the sounds that Gideon's armor was making. It's like, yeah, it's powered armor. That's why he's able to just grab and squeeze Bo-Katan's hand with enough strength to crush the hilt of the Darksaber. It's this great little Legends bit called a crush gaunt. These Beskar gloves with actuators in to add strength to the grip. So mentioned them last week, I want to say.
Yep.
So
I love that it's like a back to Zelda. He probably found these in a treasure chest somewhere. You got the crush gaunts.
You couldn't even let you finish.
Boulder.
I just imagine Moff Gideon going,
Shit!
Oh, that's great.
Who's Moff Gideon's little fairy? Hey, listen.
It's just Grogu.
No, it's one of his clones.
Clones. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh my goodness.
Moff Gideon
pick.
just rolling all around the battlefield. Just gotta get there before the gate closes.
Oh my god. That's so good.
It works, man. He appropriates things from every culture, right? He's got the...
He is weaponized cultural appropriation.
Oh my god. Well, great pick for Boba's Bounty. Phil.
And
also-
yes, they weren't referred to as such by name, but I believe in my heart that those were crush gaunts.
I mean, even if they were just an edition, like a special edition suit, you know what I mean? It was still built into that suit, like they planned that. So
They used it like such.
yeah,
Exactly.
I would assume that they did that on purpose.
But
for
you were
sure.
dressed as one.
It's funny because I guess I haven't watched any. You know, I like to watch the Easter egg videos on YouTube where they go through all the 78 Easter eggs that you missed. But I like watching those. I haven't watched any for the last 3 or 4 episodes. I should check it out. I wonder if they caught that. I wonder if anyone caught that these are from the books. Because if not, we're going to make some videos for it. Anyway, excellent pick for your Boba's Bounty. Let's move on to Justin's Boba's Bounty for this week. Tell us why you picked Din Grogu.
I told you, man. I thought it was heartwarming or heartfelt, like him being officially adopted.
I like heartwarming. I'm using that.
yeah, that's worse. But him being adopted by Din Djarin was just so sweet to me, and like ultimately fitting for the story. And so when he got the name of Din Grogu, yes, at first I was caught off guard and surprised. And it took a while to sink in, and I then learned to love it.
I mean, yeah, he's got a new name. He's a new person, I guess, kind of, whatever.
No, it's just official.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we all knew that he was the son of Din.
Yeah, I mean, we've been treating him as such, and now it's just that the rest of the galaxy will recognize him as such. And it'll get put into his chain code.
This is the way.
You're right. This is
It's the way. It's official.
Excellent pick. I mean, again, the whole Din Grogu thing kind of throws me off. I hope they don't call him Din Grogu. I really hope they don't.
His name has changed so much.
But like, if they start,
Hey, fans, you didn't like it when we gave him a name. Now we're giving him a last name.
Well, a first name. What? I don't know. See,
A surname or family name. Can we just briefly discuss on how in
Yeah,
like most
yeah.
Asian cultures the family name is listed
Right.
first?
I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
He is right.
Excuse
it's
my
honoring
ignorance.
Din's it's honoring the family of Din Djarin.
Okay, all right, fair. I'm just being a stupid American about it. My bad.
Happens to the best of us.
But excellent pick, Justin. Thank you for that. I am going to throw out my Boba's bounty. Did I even? Yes, there it is. It is the Gideon clones.
And the little jump scare scene we got out
Oh,
of
jump
that.
scare scene
We
is
all knew it was
cool.
gonna be there too.
Yes.
I know it.
Jump scares like that are classic, and it
It
still works.
It was. I know, right? Well, and it worked.
They're
because
classic
it was,
for a reason.
and it worked because it was Grogu, and you're like, no, you can't be scared. Every time Grogu was in peril this episode, my heart was racing. Like I had the whole hands over my face thing, you know, and when Gideon woke up, when Gideon 8.0 woke up and like did the jump scare, I was like, oh no, are they all gonna break out and fight? No, nope, no, they're just gonna flush him down the toilet like the Venture Bros do.
Sidebar.
'Kay.
Radiant is the blood of the baboon heart.
Yes, sir.
Did you see that teaser?
Yeah, dude, I posted it.
I am so stoked for this, man.
I can't believe they finally announced it. I mean, the Venture Bros has been in talks to have this movie for a while now. Like as soon as Adult Swim made that contract with HBO, they immediately said, you know, new Aqua Teen, new Venture Bros, new Metalocalypse. So we got Aqua Teen already, which was actually a pretty good movie.
We're getting Metalocalypse too because Death Clock's going back on tour.
They're going on tour. Oh my god, I can't
with
wait.
Baby Metal.
Yes, it's gonna be.
Oh,
so
no way.
good. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
man, they're gonna
so
be at the
good.
Fillmore in September.
I want to go.
That's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
I got my
actually,
tickets. I'm going.
I can't remember if they're coming to Lincoln here or if it's gonna be in Kansas City. I don't know.
I
but
think
I'm
it's
gonna
Kansas
see them.
City.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not too far from here.
That 2-hour drive, get some barbecue, and like do it up.
Yeah, barbecue and yeah, heck yeah. But anyway, yeah, my Boba's bounty was just the clones. It was really cool to find out why Gideon was doing what he was doing.
What he was doing.
And like, you know, figuring out the master plan, and then also ruining that master plan in a matter of minutes. And I couldn't help but laugh when Gideon shows up and he's like, "You killed my clone."
Yeah.
Like that was the most upset we've ever seen. He was
gonna cry.
He was emotionally distraught.
Well, for
right
how
there.
smart he is, you think he know not to keep all of his eggs in one basket.
And I don't think he was. I still
Okay,
don't
man.
think he was. I mean, honestly, if you can get Giancarlo Esposito to keep showing up in your Star Wars show,
You should keep.
you
doing
should keep
that.
getting him to show up in your Star Wars show.
But that reaction, the way he delivers that line we just said, makes me think that he lost everything. Like,
Me too.
yeah,
I
I
mean-
mean, Tobey Maguire, that'd be like, "You gonna cry?" Like,
I mean, if he has, 20 clones there on Mandalore and 20 somewhere else, he still just lost half his kids.
true.
Oh my god. Yeah, and like you were saying, like the amount of like distress that he was in just kind of made me think that all of his eggs were right in this basket.
Right.
So, and then seeing him melt with Star Destroyer jet fuel or whatever the fuck that was.
You were killed by axe woes.
Yeah. Yeah. What a loser.
Would that count as a Guardians kill, or would that count as an Axe Woves kill? I mean, who
Oh,
gets
that's Guardians.
credit for that?
The map does. The map.
He jumped out. He's not in there anymore, bro.
That's true. He needed to ride it all the way down if he wanted to
Exactly.
get that one.
I did kind of like that. Like, I at first when Axe jumps out of the ship, I was like, "Isn't the captain supposed to go down with the ship?" But then I realized Bo-Katan is the captain, and technically, she was down when the ship went down.
I
or
like that.
something.
I mean, I like that he kind of utilized the explosive decompression of the ship to just be like, I'm going out that way.
yeah.
And his jetpack shot ahead for the velocity of the pressure sucking him out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a pretty sweet scene for sure. But yeah,
I
excellent pick,
digress.
guys. Let's move on to our next segment. It's the Starlight Killer scene where we talk about our favorite still shot of each episode. And Justin is gone again, so we're going to start
Start with Hugh.
Hugh's Starlight Killer scene, which is this guy right here. It comes in at the, oh my god, I had it brought up. It is the 15-minute and 26-second mark. Tell us
Gorgeous.
about this.
Yeah. So, a little background. I'm a huge Destiny fan. And I know, Josh, you've done some Destiny content, but this reminded me, just at my first glance, of a little place on the Tangled Shore. It's one of the places in Destiny 2. And one of the places looks kind of like this. But I picked it because I picked it because of also it's beautiful, it's lush, but the dialogue around this makes me feel like even the planet is fighting back. Like the fact that it ends with the line "life persists." All it needs is like a place to grow. They've found a way to cultivate it. It's been dormant, but it's reawakening. It just tied everything really did a good job tying it all together. That it's not just the Mandalorians, it's literally the planet itself is like fighting back and resurgent, and I love the image. So there you go.
It was a really cool scene, and the surprise of Bo when she was like, oh, you guys are farming down here?
Yeah.
Like, it really just kind of showed, like you were saying, that the planet was fighting back. And it's going to be cool to come back to Mandalore in a couple years after they have, like, recultivated and everything. And I'm excited to see Mandalore again in the future. But hopefully it's not going to be, hopefully Mandalore is not the new Tatooine. You know what I mean?
Man, everything being filmed there. I gotcha.
I feel you.
Yeah. Although it would be cool to see the progression of Mandalore,
I hope we get to go to Concordia at some point and actually see Din's literal Din Djarin's actual childhood home.
Yeah, or give me Mon Calamar. Come on, dude. We talk about it all the time.
Dude, I was just going through those episodes in Clone Wars.
Yeah, give us some of that in live action. Man, when they showed whoever in the Mon Calamari, dude.
Oh yeah, the Quarren and the Mon Cal.
Oh my god, I was so excited to go. I was like, oh my god, we're actually gonna see it. And then Jack Black showed up,
and you lost all interest.
Lizzo was there too.
Hell yeah, dude.
But excellent pick for your Starlight Killer scene, Hugh. Let's move on to Phil's Starlight Killer scene. Did I not upload that? Man, I was really tired today, guys. Apparently, I did not upload Phil's. Scene,
I can get it for you if you need it.
No, I got it already. It comes in at the 9-minute and 36-second mark. It is this guy right here. Tell us about it, Phil.
Dope.
It was such a ridiculous moment. We had all of Bo-Katan's crew, basically everybody who was still up on the light cruiser. So Axe gets up. He tells them, "Everybody get the fuck out. We got to get down to the surface because Gideon's guys are coming." And so all the Mandalorians except for Axe, bail out of the light cruiser and make it back to their claw fighters, and they're just like hood sliding. It's such a Dukes of Hazzard moment. You just, instead of sliding across the hood of the car to jump in, they're sliding onto the landing ramp, and it was such a great moment. I was just like, oh, okay.
It was definitely one of the coolest scenes
It's
of
just
the
a
episode.
fun action sequence.
Yeah, and the whole thing going from the ship to the gauntlets,
Yep.
and then dropping down again, like everything was just incredible.
Yeah.
In that part, so excellent pick for your Starlight Killer scene. I'll talk about mine, and hopefully Justin comes back. I'm wondering if his phone died.
Might have done.
I know how that feels.
Yeah, you.
Throwback.
Throwback to last week, folks.
But hopefully he comes back. I will talk about my Starlight Killer scene, which is literally the last shot of the episode. It is the scene of Grogu holding up the frog while Mando looks on his new baby boy. It's just
I love his little cabin.
Yeah, man.
It's just like he's just set for such a cozy life.
Yeah, he's just peaceful right now. He's like, this is exactly what I've been working for however long he's been working, to have my boy out there eating his food and me just chilling
Boys
on the
feeding
porch.
off the land.
Yeah.
All I see is like Thanos just smiling at the end of Infinity War. I'm just like, yes. Just everything's at peace. The work is done.
Oh, are we gonna get time traveling Avengers coming in to just mess with Din when he's trying to just have his nice little cabin life?
It's just old ass Ray dropping in from like fucking 50 years from now, and she's all old. She's like, "You must die, Din."
That'd be a hell
God.
of a direction for
I love
the continuity reboot to take.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got the world between worlds, so
There
you
we go.
never know. It's a possibility. Dang, I'm sorry, guys. There's 12 seconds left in this game. Denver's got the ball. Minnesota's up 96-95. It's kind of crazy right now.
Hugh, are you watching on your other screen?
I've been refreshing to Google here.
Yeah, it's
Josh,
quite the intense game.
Josh, it looks like the nearest show to you, death clock-wise, is probably going to be Omaha.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
in Omaha?
In Omaha.
Oh.
They're
Must
at
be
the
Slowdown.
Steelhouse.
Steelhouse. Oh, the new venue. Okay.
Yeah,
cool,
man.
Cool. That'll be really tight. I'm gonna definitely go to that then. Hell yeah. Thanks, Phil.
Hey, man.
Yeah, just crushing it for me over there. I am just crush gods. I am just going to talk about Justin's Starlight Killer scene myself, I suppose. It came in at the 27-minute and 2-second mark. It's the scene where Grogu is protecting everyone from the fire with the Force. Dude, this scene got me choked up for sure.
It was
like,
so good.
Everything explodes, but it's such a good callback to season 1 too. Like when the flamethrower throws that flame up in the building and Grogu stops it, he passes out afterwards,
And
this
he
one
does
again.
it so much better.
Yes.
And we've had this whole fight. They've been taking turns protecting each other. We've got Bo-Katan with her shield out. Din's got to get one of those. I mean,
Right?
Pat. I mean, just
You
as
would
far as
hope.
his next gear upgrade, right?
You would hope,
I mean,
but
Where's his little it's like the one shot use of the little mini rockets?
the
you have to build them with Beskar.
sparrows.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
is it-
Whistling,
yeah.
whatever.
You see, they took those off when he got disarmed.
Oh, okay.
At the
So he still
end
has
of
them. Does he?
They pulled something off of his left gauntlet there when they were disarming him. I assumed that was the whistling sparrows they were pulling off.
Interesting.
I
mean-
didn't see it this season, so I was curious.
Yeah. Well, and he was told, you know, there was a whole discussion with the Beskar spear about, you know, using weapons made of Beskar
Mm-hmm.
and how they were, you know, dangerous because they could, you know, kill Mandalorians.
Yeah, and I think I swear to God, they had to make those out of Beskar
Yeah.
metal or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my God,
like-
you're kidding
like-
me right now.
Like each one of them was a
Oh, it's time.
It's going to overtime, dude. It's going to overtime.
whistling
Can't believe
birds.
that. Is it whistling
Not
birds?
sparrows, but whistling birds.
Oh,
Okay.
how
Yeah.
lame is that? God.
Thank you,
They could-
Ricky.
they-
You were close, man.
They could have done anything, any other animal in Star Wars. Whistling birds? Come on, dude.
They fly.
Yeah.
Would you
whatever.
have preferred they called them like Minox or something?
How about whistling raptor? Yeah,
That thing
silence.
eats them,
Yeah,
man.
where are you at now?
That eats them. Are you gonna name a weapon after something that like tries to kill you?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. That's what weapons should be named.
I was about to say, wait a minute, trick question.
Anyway,
Like,
so excellent pick for Justin, wherever he is. I feel bad. But I'm guessing
Absolutely
his phone died for
spectacular.
sure.
she's coming
It was
another world of the Force.
like I was saying, it was one of my favorite callbacks because I feel like there were a lot of callbacks in this episode to previous seasons,
Mhm.
and this one was probably my favorite. Like I said, I got choked up. I got a little emotional during this because Grogu's just like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. We're good. We got this. We're totally fine." And then when he had so many moments where he like basically looks at the camera or looks at Din and goes, "Sup?" And that was kind of after the flame thing. He just puts his hands down and goes, "I'm gonna sit down,"
Yep.
and just kind of looked and
Put
like
the team on his back today. Like,
Yeah.
he really did. And even when he's fighting the guards, like Ricky was saying, he was jumping around like a cat, all nimbly bimbly on the light thing. And it's like when he gets done in that scene, and Din looks at him and goes, "Good job, buddy." He looks up and just goes, "Meh." You know, like, I know, bitch. I
Yeah, Dad,
know.
I did good.
Yeah, so I really liked his reactions too. Like he was proud of himself so much that he kind of wanted a little bit of validation as well. Like, check it out, dude. I'm not passing out anymore. I can do this without, dying.
Look how
for a
much
little
better.
bit.
Look what I can do.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
Grogu!
Excellent picks though. Excellent picks though, guys, for these first two segments. We're gonna move on quickly to our one. I guess not quickly, but we're gonna move on to one chimers. The part of the episode where we choose our favorite set of dialogue from each episode of The Mandalorian. Let's keep the rotation going and start with Hugh.
If we don't take out Moff Gideon, this will never end. You with me?
I gotta say, there's another moment in this episode where Grogu, all he does is make a little noise and nod his head, and you're like, yes.
And this sets the tone, I think, for the entire episode in terms of what Grogu is able to do. I think I told you in the direct message I sent to you that this is kind of the real birth of Din Grogu. He gets the IG-11 or IG-12 destroyed, and then he's fighting the Praetorians. He stops the blade. He takes away one of the guy's weapons. He does the same thing for against Moff Gideon as well. He takes his weapon away. And I'm just like, the last segment was the perfect setup. I'm like, man, he's just this good. Like, where was this? I'm like Okoye in Black Panther or in Avengers. I'm like, why was she up there the whole time, right?
She up there.
Where was this girl? Like even holding out on us like a little bit. Like you could do all this just rapid fire. Like okay, let's go. Like, but I love it. Like, it seems like he's even a little bit taller at the end of the episode. You kind of see him Like he's really gonna kind of grown into himself. So I thought this was like the perfect launching point into that. Like he's like, I need you to be
Yeah.
brave. That's the line that precedes that little scene. And are you with me? And Grogu's like, yes. And we see Grogu just crush it the rest of the episode. MVP all the
Dude.
way.
For real.
It's his.
Yeah.
For
Oh yeah.
real. And I totally agree. That was the birth of Din Grogu. Basically, he knew the assignment this episode.
He understood it.
Absolutely. He did the best that he could, and man, he stole the show for sure. For like all the complaints about Grogu not doing much this season, like this episode really made up for that.
Right.
No, he's
And-
doing everything this episode.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
he
he
runs
the man.
this. He is the Mandalorian.
It's his show now. We were all wrong. It's not Bo-Katan's. It's Grogu's. Din Grogu.
Din Djarin, look at me, Din.
I'm the Mandalorian.
I'm the Mandalorian. Oh yes, yes.
Thank you. That was good. That's perfect. Great setup. Oh, awesome pick though for your one
10
chime.
out of 10, no notes.
Let's move on to Phil's.
Sorry, I don't speak binary. I'm counting on you.
I had a couple of reasons for picking this one. I mean, as somebody who is not binary, it cracked me up to just hear Din try and be like, "Sorry, I don't speak binary." This is like, no, if I have to have this like awkward conversation about about gender stuff with people, I'm just gonna quote that. I'm sorry, I don't speak binary.
Oh my god.
But
I might join you in that.
That's hilarious.
but it's also just a nice nod to see him actually like progressing in his development of his he is working so hard this season on his whole droid issue. Now granted, I think he got a lot of it out of his system when he was kicking battle droids. But
Ricky is referencing what we just talked about, the binary thing, and he says, "What? But Phil looks like such a classic straight white male in that bikini." He sure does, doesn't he? Classic. No, I love that scene too. Another scene of R5 where you're like,
Yeah.
all right, maybe I kind of like this droid, I guess.
yeah, he's dealing with the necessity of having to work with a droid, but he knows he trusts this one so far.
Yeah. And even though R5 has complained and not wanted to do things the whole season, he's still done it. And Din's probably like, all right, fine. Good job, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pal.
Yeah. Nice one.
And
pal.
Ricky, thank you. I think what Ricky means is to say that I really need to just actually invest in like a proper version of this and not like the $40 Amazon version of the costume. So I appreciate it, Ricky.
Yeah. We need a little bit more like eye stuff too.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know what? I mean, I just got back from a trip. Like, I spent 4.5 hours in the car this afternoon.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Getting
That drive is rough.
yeah, like I didn't even have to chance to do mascara, man. Give me a break.
Oh, yeah. Rough
No,
drive.
it's still, you look great, Philea. It's wonderful.
But yeah, no,
Thank
I
you.
just thought it was a very fun
Yeah.
line. It
it
stuck
was-
with me instantly.
It was a comic relief for an episode that didn't have a lot of comic relief. For
Exactly.
sure. So, excellent pick. We're going to move on to my one-chimer.
Then I will adopt him as my own.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Sorry about that. I apparently edited that first shot to be 5 seconds long instead of 0.5 seconds long. That was all on me. But obviously we
Behold
talked
the
about
power
this
of
scene.
the decimal.
Yeah. But we talked about this scene already, just how fun it was to see Grogu get adopted. I did have my little weird ignorant American moment. But it was still good to see Din Djarin go and, officially adopt Grogu and officially make him a Mandalorian apprentice instead of just a foundling. It was a good scene. And then, of course, this leads up to the Mythosaur, which, again, was that whole thing was like, oh, my God, he's waking up to Grogu because Grogu is now a Mandalorian. And the Mythosaur is like, whoa, what? So, Ricky says, you need the real bikini, definitely real gold inlays, purple silk, and a built-in butt plug.
See,
Yes.
this is
Yes.
what happens when
This is the
someone
way.
this is what happens when someone I lived with off and on for 4 years comes in and starts talking guest stuff.
Oh goodness.
I don't know how much I want to dig into that last comment, so we're going to move on to Justin's
I'm just saying,
one-timer.
Ricky and I were roommates for some time.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Help me up.
I don't necessarily know why Justin picked this particular set of dialogue, but I can only guess that it was because it was another little bit of comic relief in a not so comic-y episode.
Well,
And,
I mean, I look at it as not to talk for you, Justin, but you're not here. So yes, to talk for you. I looked at it as him seeing Grogu doing everything he can to help take care of Mando. And, whether that's, just, trying to make sure that he's not injured, trying to make sure, because, I mean, he doesn't have weapons built into the droid body anymore.
it's too
So-
bad, because he probably would have wrecked those guards.
Would have been interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I would assume it was because you're right. Like he cares so much, and he's like, you're good, right? You're good. Din is like, dude, I'm fine. Yeah, it was a good little moment. Oh my god. Ricky is just on fire today. Justin is frantically trying to charge his Android phone with his wife's Apple Lightning charger.
This man
Poor
roasted.
Justin. I hope Justin's not watching
God,
right now.
Ricky, is this what it was like when you were doing shows and I was just sitting there in the chat shit posting the whole time?
Yes.
Because if it is, I am very proud of what I did and not at all sorry.
Yes. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. But Justin, obviously, excellent pick on that one. It was a great opening to this final episode of Mandalorian. So, and the way that the music comes in, right? It's basically the scene, then Hugh's scene, and then after Hugh's scene, the music comes in. It was just a great opening. So
No.
we're gonna move on to my one chimer, which I already played.
I was about to
So
say.
we're not going to do that. God, dude, I am so tired today. Oh, my God. We're going to move on to our final segment, which is... It is the Tusken Raider, the party episode where we rate each episode of The Mandalorian. Now, this week was I want to do something a little different because I actually had some, feedback on a post that I did on Twitter the other day, and I sent out to the Twitterverse rate this season of Mandalorian on a scale of 1 to 10. So that's kind of what I want to do here. I want to rate the episode, and then I want to rate the season as a whole. But I will start with some of these things we had. Ro said he rated the overall season a 6 out of 10. Then we had Josh Scar from the Talking Smack podcast, 7 out of 10. Davey at 80s Ewok had 6 out of 10. He said a few good episodes with some filler or off-track episodes that lower the score. There was stuff set up that was either misdirection or simply not followed through. Felt like it could have been a lot better if the story was tighter with less filler, like Andor. We basically said all of that today. Although Phil bringing up the spies thing made that episode a little less misdirected. You know, if that's what they're going for, I feel like the misdirection was just a little less.
A little, a little obscure maybe, but not as misdirection as we might have initially thought.
Right. Bad Kane said he was heading towards a 4 or 5 for the season, but the last 2 episodes dragged the whole thing up to a 7. We had a 5 out of 10. Unevenly paced, story threads all over the place, dramatic potential squandered, i.e. let the audience know Gideon has set up a base on Mandalore before the Mandalorians arrive. Just basically complaining. Then we had an 8 out of 10, an 8, a 9, a 9, a 7.5, a 7, an 8, a 10. So really, it seems like the average of this for the Twitterverse was around 7, I would say. 7.5 probably for the entire season, which is pretty cool. Thanks to everyone that actually got involved in that and gave me some reasons too. I like the people that'll chime in and give me like their reasons why they rated it a 6 out of 10. Except for the one guy that said 0 out of 10 because he canceled his Disney Plus. Get out of here, edgelord. Nobody wants to hear your opinion. Let's move on to Hugh's rating for this episode. We'll do episode first. And then we'll do the season. So, what was your rating for this episode?
I was coming in with a 6, but I really had a problem with the whole, as I brought up at the top of the show, not guarding. I didn't think the clones were guarded well enough, but I did overlook the whole, he had to go through 7 shields thing and did a lot of ass kicking. So even if it's against a bunch of, just random stormtroopers, I got to bump it up for that. So going to go with 7. Wasn't my favorite episode, but a lot of cool things went down. A lot of great imagery as we've spoken about this episode. But going to go up to a 7.
That's fair. Phil, what about you? What was your rating for this week?
For the episode, I'm thinking a 9.
Okay.
It was pretty solid. There's some stuff I do think we have a tendency to get caught up in our theories, and then we judge things when they don't hit what we were expecting.
Yeah.
I will say there were a couple of things that I absolutely called this week. No death for Bo-Katan or Din Djarin. Because just narrative structure, that's not going to happen. We already had the character sacrifice in episode 7.
Yes.
But it was great action sequences, nice little bits of humor. We still have some unanswered questions, and again, knowing that they're planning to keep doing more within this world, I'm not upset about unanswered questions. And I'm trying not to be too upset about, fan theories not necessarily panning out. Because, probably call it an overall a 9. I am a little sad that I didn't have an episode this season that I could have called a 10 out of 10. But still a fun season.
Nine's pretty good.
Yeah, they can't all be zingers.
Right.
So.
True that. Justin rated this an 8.5. In the notes he said too quick to finish beginning. I don't know what those words in that combination means. But 8.5 for Justin, and I rated it a 9, which gives us a total of 83% this week, which seems to be about the average. Like I was saying with the Twitterverse, it seems like people were going in between 6 and 9. So, Jesus, dude.
Hugh, Ricky wants you in co-hosting next season.
Thanks, Ricky.
Hell yeah, man.
So real quick, before we move on to getting on out of here, let's rate the entire season.
Yeah.
And let's start with Hugh. What would you rate the entire season out of 10?
Going with an 8.5. Really enjoyed this season. One of the people on your Twitter post said didn't enjoy the filler episodes as much. I call out 2 very good ones. I think the famous Jack Black Lizzo episode I liked, as I explained. You'll have to check out last week's episode why I liked it. And then my favorite, like I said, last episode was the Pershing. A little bit of a slow burn to start the season this year, but I think it finished pretty strong. So 8.5 for me.
You know, there's an unfinished question there, an unanswered question there with that whole episode with Pershing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what's going on there.
Mhm.
Now that Gideon's dead, where does Kane end up?
Right.
You know, where does she end up going? So,
the Chimera, obviously.
oh, clearly, Delta Source all the way, duh. But like, again,
Oh, we can talk about Delta Source, and Justin won't know what's going on. No, I still don't want to spoil that reveal in Last Command for him because
it's kind of one of the most ridiculous reveals.
but but
of
it's
the
the
book,
only way it
but-
makes sense.
I guess.
I got to go with Hugh on this one. I think about an 8.5 overall for the season. I never mind the filler in this live action Star Wars. I'm honestly just happy to see so much Star Wars content coming out. It's like, again, there's gonna be some stuff that's not top notch every time. I absolutely loved the Pershing episode. I think if this had been an Andor length season, like we were talking about earlier, I think we would have gotten at least one more almost exclusively Coruscant episode.
Yeah.
I mean, they have done all of that set design and stuff for Coruscant scenes for Andor. I mean, why not just use it more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
but yeah,
sense. I like it. I like
nice
that.
progress of the season. Good character arcs for most everybody on the protagonist side. We lost a good one, rip Paz Vizsla. But man, it was a fun season. I cannot wait to see where things go next.
Absolutely, it is. There's a lot of places they could go. Obviously, Thrawn is where they're gonna go, but it's gonna be great. I'm gonna agree with you guys. 8.5 for me too. There was no Luke Skywalker type of scene in this that would make this a 9.5 or 10 for me. I mean, look, that episode of Mandalorian is my favorite episode of
It's the GOAT,
Mandalorian ever.
yeah.
I give it a 12 out of 10 every single time I watch it. So I know it's a high bar, but like this season didn't even hold a candle to
Oh, yeah.
that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, 8.5, and I'm just gonna speak for Justin and say 8.5, which means we ended this.
You just don't
on
want to
a-
have to do math.
You're absolutely right. So we ended this on an 85%, which is pretty good. I feel like it was a great season. I had a lot of fun, both watching it and podcasting about it. It was great to have Phil here as a new permanent co-host. And you know, thanks to all the guests that came out. I mean, we had Jesse, we had Ricky, we had Hugh,
We had
we
Roe.
had we had Jesse from the Crusher Convo podcast. I'm sure I'm forgetting people. But there was a lot of people involved. We had a lot of people.
We
in
had
the
like 7
chats.
guests.
Yeah, man, it was a great season, and I am excited to just continue this show, to not, do season and season and season. Like this is gonna be a fun kind of every other week thing until we have an actual show to podcast about every single week. And I'm extremely excited to continue that. That being said, I think we're going to come back for maybe a live episode in a couple weeks. If not, we'll at least have an episode dropping in a couple weeks that will be obviously Star Wars centered around legends and new canon of Star Wars.
We'll get you some Last Command content coming up soon.
Yes, we still got to
we
read
will
the
get
book.
you updates as we move on, getting ready for Ahsoka. We'll be here.
Yeah, things will be going down. But
we could
make sure
recap some Rebels stuff before Ahsoka starts. We could do like a season by season recap of Rebels shit.
Oh my god.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Ricky and Ro and Claire and Tim and Jesse, all of you guys for hanging out with us in the chat today. It was good to see you all. And for people that are just listening to us in podcast land, you can join us on Sundays at around 8:30 Mountain Standard Time right here at youtube.com/@questme and hang out with us live. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at QuestMePodcast. All of those links are in the show notes as well. Go ahead and like and subscribe to all of those things. Follow all of those things. We have different content pumped out on all of those different social media sites every single day. Different videos on TikTok, different posts on Twitter. Justin does different things on Instagram. And, of course, we got the main Facebook page that all the stuff funnels through. So be sure to sign up for all those things or like and follow all those things so you can be notified when we do actually go live and when we do have new episodes dropping, like the Last Command episode that we're going to have coming out here soon. I'm assuming that's going to be a multiple episode endeavor, but I am extremely excited to move on with that. So I think we're going to call it a week, a day, a season.
Hey, you know who's not calling it a season, Josh?
The Timberwolves.
You got to do it.
Yeah, they got lucky. Whatever, man. They had to win at least one.
Yeah,
right?
gentleman's sweep. You got to at least get the gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, man. I mean, it would have been cool to get a sweep, but you can't win them all, right?
Right.
Yeah, so thanks again, Hugh, for hanging out with us this week. We're definitely
It's been an
gonna have you
absolute
back
blast, man.
Yeah, we'll have you back for more
Thank you
episodes,
for having me on.
even the random ones. So, if you can make episodes, we'll have you here. So, yeah, let's do a little bit of a sign off. Justin's not here, so we'll go to Hugh and then Phil and then me, and we'll get on out of here. So, for Quest Me, I have been your host.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Phil.
And of course, my name is Josh, and I speak for Justin and everybody else when I say thank you so much for listening to the Quest Me podcast. We will talk to you in a couple weeks. May the Force